One other thing that the Conservatives constantly say is that inequality has fallen under their watch and under the coalition government's watch. And The Economist produced an article a few weeks ago with the title Statistical Tricks about this, because it is completely true that inequality has fallen, as long as you don't take into account the best of 10%. So when David Cameron got up in Prime Minister's Questions and said that inequality has fallen, he was talking about the blue line behind me, which is the ratio. This is a bit tricky, I apologise for this, but I did warn you it's a lecture. It's the ratio of the median person in the best of quintile to the median person in the worst of quintile. In other words, it's the 90th percentile person to the 10th percentile person. If you forget the poorest 10th of the population, if you forget the richest 10th of the population, then the gap between those two groups has narrowed. The Institute for Fiscal Studies has looked at the Gini coefficient of inequality and said that if you ignore the best of 1%, which they have to because they're not in their surveys of data, inequality has now fallen back to where it was in 1992. All sounds fine and dandy until you include the best of 1%. And what's happened, it's happened since 2010, and it's the first time it's happened since at least 1913, is that there's been a split within the best of 10th of the population. If you're not getting 160,000 a year or more in your household, then you will, on average, have less now. You'll have less partly because there's been some pay restraint. You'll have less because one of you may have had to take a pay cut or have lost your job or a different part-time job. You'll have less because you no longer qualify for child benefit if you're in that group. Top 1%, most of them never bother to claim child benefit. When you're earning that much, filling in the forms is too much hassle to do. The red line shows you what's been happening